I never imagined I'd be staring at the fluorescent lights of St. Joseph's Hospital in Tucson, Arizona, at 38 years old, hearing a doctor tell me I had just 2 days left. But there I was, flat on my back, my body a wreck of pain and fatigue, while Dr. Ramirez's words hammered into my skull like nails into dry desert wood.
I'm sorry.
Emily, we've run every test. Your kidneys and liver are shutting down. 2 days. Maybe 3 at best. 2 days. 48 hours. That's all the time I had to wrap my head around dying. I should have been replaying my life, the ranches I'd bought and flipped, the deals that built my little empire out here in the Southwest. Instead, I was fixated on my husband's face. Nathan stood at the end of the bed, knuckles white on the rail. For a split second, something crossed his eyes. Not sorrow. Not the gut punch of loss.
It was
Satisfaction. Like he'd just hit the jackpot at a Vegas slot machine. His mom, Martha, hovered beside him, her weathered face set in that perpetual scowl I'd tried to melt with kindness for years. She patted his arm once, quick and firm, like sealing a deal. I saw it all in crystal clarity, the fever sharpening my senses instead of dulling them.
Dr.
Ramirez was still talking, his voice soft as a summer breeze. We'll keep you comfortable. Pain management is key. If there's family to call or affairs to settle, do it soon. He stepped out, leaving the door to click shut like a coffin lid. The monitors beeped their relentless rhythm, echoing the traffic on the highway outside. Martha's breathing was even, too calm for a woman watching her daughter-in-law fade away. Nathan came around the bed, taking my hand in his cool, steady one. We'd been married 8 years, 8 years of building a life in this sun-baked corner of the world. I waited for comfort, for tears, for anything real. Instead, he leaned in close, his breath warm against my ear. Finally, he murmured, so low Martha couldn't hear. 2 days. And your ranches. Your money, it's all mine. The words landed like a scorpion sting, but my drug-fogged brain fought to process them. Had he really said that? He pulled back, smiling, not a heartbroken smile, but the kind you flash when a long con pays off. We should let you rest.
Honey.
Big day ahead.
Or
Last day. I mean, Martha nodded, her eyes like chips of granite. It's a mercy. Really. You've suffered enough. God's got a plan. A mercy. My death was convenient for them. They turned to go, murmuring what they thought were whispers. But dying sharpens everything. Sounds cut through the haze like a knife through leather. Call the realtors first thing, Martha said at the door. Get appraisals on those properties. Sell quick while the market's hot. Nathan replied. The big ranch in Sedona goes first. That'll pull $2 million easy. Keep the cabin in Flagstaff for rentals. What about the Phoenix lots?
Flipping.
Too urban for my taste. They were carving up my estate like coyotes on a fresh kill. And I wasn't even gone yet. The door shut, their footsteps fading down the hall, punctuated by Martha's chuckle, actual laughter. I lay there, no longer drifting. 8 years flashed before me. 8 years of loving a man who'd been playing me like a fiddle. How had I been so blind? Love does that. It wraps you in a warm blanket of trust, hiding the thorns underneath. I'd met Nathan at a real estate expo in Phoenix, charmed by his easy smile and talk of building a future. We'd married fast. Too fast, maybe. And when Martha showed up broke after her bad investments, I'd opened our home, our life, to her. I'd even let her brew those herbal teas she swore were good for my stress, natural remedies from desert plants, better than pills. I'd sipped them every morning for a year, feeling worse each month, blaming it on work, on age, on anything but them. My phone was on the nightstand, just out of reach. My arms screamed as I stretched, fingers trembling until I grabbed it. I wasn't dead yet. 48 hours was enough to fight back. I dialed a number I'd called countless times, Sarah Jenkins, my housekeeper for 6 years. She answered quick. Mrs. Hayes. Emily.
My voice was a rasp.
Sarah. Come to St. Joseph's tonight. Room 412.
Urgent.
A pause. You okay? Should I call 911?
No. Just come.
And Sarah. Help me, and you'll be set for life. I swear. She arrived in an hour, locking the door behind her. Sarah was reliable, quiet, the kind who noticed everything while dusting the shelves. What's wrong? I told her everything, the whisper, the overheard plans, the cold satisfaction in their eyes. Her face drained of color. I knew something was off. Emily.
God.
I should have said sooner. Say it now. And she did. She'd seen papers in Nathan's office, spreadsheets of my assets, ranch valuations, notes on my net worth. She'd snapped photos on her phone, instinct telling her it stank. He had your will highlighted, the part leaving everything to him. I'd updated that will 3 years ago, after a bad flu, when Nathan was so doting, pushing me to be responsible. Then the teas. Martha was picky about them. Made M before I got there. Watched you drink every drop. Locked the herbs away. Snapped at me when I asked.
Poison.
The word hung in my mind like smoke from a wildfire. I trusted them. Thanked them. Now it all clicked, the slow decline. The doctors baffled. I outlined my plan. A new will, scrawled on hospital paper, leaving everything to Sarah. You can't, she protested. That's crazy. You're the only one who saw the truth. You deserve it. Second, evidence. I had a tiny recorder in my bag, bought weeks ago when doubts first crept in. Hide it at home. Catch them talking. Third, my hidden files in the office, deeds, accounts Nathan didn't know about. Photograph them. Send to my lawyer, Tom Reynolds. She agreed, slipping out into the night. Alone, I wrestled with the betrayal. Was any of it real? Our wedding under the Arizona stars? The honeymoon in the Grand Canyon? Or was I just a mark? A ticket to easy money? The pain in my body paled against the ache in my soul. I'd given them everything, and they'd repaid with slow death. But spite fueled me now. I wasn't going down without dragging them with me. The night dragged like a bad dream, fever twisting my thoughts into knots of rage and regret. Every beep of the monitor reminded me of the clock ticking down. But now it wasn't just toward death, it was toward revelation. I kept replaying Nathan's whisper. That smug, finally, and it burned deeper each time. How could I have loved a man capable of this? 8 years. And I'd ignored the red flags, his quitting his job to support me. Really just spending my earnings on golf trips and gadgets. Martha's constant nitpicking. Turning my home into her domain. The way they'd isolate me. Calling my friends opportunists. Love had made me a fool. Trust a victim. But no more. If I had only 2 days, I'd use them to shatter their world. Morning light filtered through the blinds. Harsh and unforgiving like the desert sun. A nurse brought broth I couldn't stomach, chattering about her kid's soccer game. I nodded, conserving strength. At 9, Tom Reynolds strode in, his cowboy boots clicking on the tile. A tall, no-nonsense lawyer who'd handled my ranch deals for 15 years. His face was grim as he sat, briefcase in lap. Sarah came by at dawn with your note. The photos. Emily, why didn't you tell me sooner? I've never trusted Nathan. He'd hinted before, comments about Nathan's interest in my portfolio. How odd he never worked. How convenient Martha's arrival was after I inherited that Sedona spread from my aunt. I was blind.
Tom.
But now I see. We reviewed the new will. Everything to Sarah, with instructions to donate parts to local charities, women's shelters, land conservation. It was vindictive. Yes, but fair. I'd built this from scratch, scraping by in dusty towns, flipping foreclosed properties. Nathan had contributed nothing but lies. This is legal? I asked. Witnessed properly.
Yes.
Arizona laws clear on holographic wills, handwritten.
Signed.
But Emily, with what Sarah told me, we need proof for the cops. The recorder. Sarah had texted, device placed in the kitchen, under the cabinet. If they talked, it'd catch it. My mind raced with doubt. What if they found it? What if I died before hearing? The betrayal gnawed at me, Martha's tease, her smiles as I weakened. Was she the mastermind? Or Nathan? Did it matter? They'd both poison my life. Literally. I felt a surge of inner conflict. Part of me wanted to forgive, to believe it was desperation. But the larger part screamed for justice. I'd been kind. They'd been cruel.
Now.
Karma would balance the scales. Nathan and Martha showed up at noon, faces masks of false concern. Nathan kissed my forehead, cool and perfunctory. How you feeling?
Babe.
Like death, I said flatly, watching for cracks. Martha offered a thermos. Brought you some broth. Homemade. With those herbs you like. My heart pounded. You drink it first. She froze, eyes darting.
What?
Don't be silly. Humor me. Nathan shifted uncomfortably. Emily, what's this about? I pushed. If it's so good, prove it. Martha unscrewed the lid, hesitated, then recapped it. I'm not thirsty. Panic flickered in her eyes.
Quickly masked. Guilty.
They left soon after, muttering about my delirium. Alone. The turmoil intensified. Why me? I'd shared everything. Dinners under starry skies. Dreams of expanding the business. Nathan had seemed genuine once. Or had I projected my hopes onto him? The pain wasn't just physical, it was the shattering of illusions. I'd wanted a family, roots in this vast land. Instead,
Idear burat vipers.
Tom returned with Dr. Ramirez. We've ordered talk screens, full panel. If there's poison, it'll show. I nodded, exhaustion warring with resolve. What if it was too late? What if my body gave out before the truth? But deep down, a fire-burned survival instinct, raw and fierce. Sarah slipped in after dark, device in hand. They talked. A lot. We played it, voices crackling like dry brush. Martha, she suspects. That broth stunt, she knows. Nathan, she's dying. Hallucinations. Don't be dense. We need to wrap this up. A pause. Nathan, a year's worth of those teas. You were patient. Mom. Martha, better than your impulsive ideas, like that accident on the trail. My breath hitched. They discussed pushing me off a hiking path. Sarah squeezed my hand as tears welled. The recording continued. Plans to sell the ranches. Access accounts. Celebrate my tragic passing. Nathan laughed. 8 years pretending to love her droning about real estate. But soon, it's ours. The words sliced deep.
Pretending.
All of it a facade. I felt hollow, the betrayal echoing in my soul. How had I missed the emptiness in his eyes? The calculation in Martha's care? Anger surged, but so did pity for myself, for the love I'd wasted. This proves intent, Sarah said. But we need the talks results for action. I agreed, mind spinning with plans. Tomorrow, we'd call the sheriff. But inside, the conflict raged, revenge felt sweet. Yet part of me mourned the family I'd imagined. Still, they had to pay. For my life. Almost stolen. The recording looped in my head all night. Nathan's laughter a dagger twisting deeper with each replay. 8 years of fake defection. How could anyone sustain that? I tormented myself with memories. Our first kiss at a rodeo in Prescott. His vows under the red rocks of Sedona. Were they all lies? Or had greed corrupted him slowly? Like the poison eroding my body, the inner storm was relentless. Rage at their betrayal clashed with self-doubt. Why hadn't I seen? Was I too trusting? Too desperate for connection in this lonely western expanse? The monitor's beeps mocked me, counting heartbeats I might not have tomorrow. But resolve hardened. If I died, it'd be fighting, exposing them. Dawn broke hot and bright, the kind of Arizona light that promises renewal but delivers heat. Tom arrived early, talks report in hand.
Dr.
Ramirez followed, face somber. We found it, Emily. Thallium, heavy metal toxin. A chronic exposure matches your symptoms. Kidney failure, fatigue. Someone dosed you repeatedly. Small amounts to mimic natural decline. My stomach churned. How long? About a year, based on buildup.
The tease.
Martha's remedies.
Proof.
Tom's eyes blazed. With this and the tape, it's attempted murder. Arizona statutes are clear. Poisoning's aggravated assault. Conspiracy adds years. Relief flooded me. But so did sorrow, the final nail in the coffin of my marriage. We called Sheriff Diaz, a tough Latina who'd handled land disputes for me before. She arrived in uniform, badge gleaming, listening stone-faced to my statement. The recording, the medicals. Her jaw tightened at Nathan's voice. 8 years pretending. Soon it's ours.
We've got him, she said.
Intent means opportunity. Warrants incoming. But inside, turmoil peaked. Part of me wanted them to suffer eternally. Another whispered forgiveness. Maybe poverty drove them.
No.
They'd chosen poison over honesty. I pushed the mercy aside. Justice first. Nathan and Martha returned mid-morning. Oblivious. Nathan brought coffee, decaf. Like you like. I stared. Voice steady despite weakness.
Seat.
We need to talk. Martha fidgeted. About what? Sheriff Diaz stepped from the corner. About thallium in Emily's system. About your recorded confessions. Color flooded their faces. Nathan stammered. What? This is nuts. Diaz played the tape. Martha's smug tone. A year's worth. Better than your accident idea. Nathan lunged toward me. You bitch. Deputies restrained him. Martha collapsed into a chair, whispering. It was supposed to be quick. Painless. The arrests were swift. Cuffs clicked. Rights read. Nathan yelled denials. Martha went silent, eyes hollow. As they were let out, Nathan turned. I loved you once. Emily.
Lies.
The room emptied, leaving me with echoing pain, not just bodily, but the raw wound of betrayal. How do you heal from knowing your family plotted your end? Tears came. hot and furious.
Y de sur viva.
But at what cost? The innocence lost, the trust shattered. Yet, a spark of humanity flickered. Perhaps prison would force reflection, redemption. But for now, the drama consumed me, emotions crashing like a monsoon flood. Treatment started immediately, chelation to bind the toxin, IVs flushing my system.
Dr.
Ramirez, you'll recover. But it'll take months. Organ damage is real, but reversible. I was going to live. The words hit like cool rain on parched earth. 2 days ago, death loomed. Now, life beckoned. But the inner battle raged fiercer. Gratitude warred with bitterness. Sarah visited, holding my hand. Partners now, right? I nodded. But doubt gnawed. Could I trust again? The betrayal's scar ran deep, forcing me to confront my naivety. I'd built walls of success, but let them crumble for love. Lesson emerging, vigilance in kindness, but not blindness. Afternoon brought more tests, more plans. Tom filed for divorce. Asset freeze. The ranches were safe, but my heart wasn't. Memories assaulted. Martha's first tea, her smile as I sipped. Nathan's arms around me, whispering sweet nothings that were everything false. The drama intensified internally, waves of fury, then pity for their broken souls. What drove them to this? Greed? Desperation? It didn't excuse, but humanized. As sun set, painting the room golden, I whispered to myself, you survived. Now rebuild. But the emotional weight pressed heavier, promising a long road to peace. Recovery's first days were a blur of needles, nausea, and nightmares. Nathan's face morphing into a grinning skull. Martha's hands pouring endless poison. The physical pain was bearable, the emotional torrent wasn't. Every quiet moment brought floods. Why me? Had I invited this by being too open? Too generous? 8 years of shared sunsets over the canyons, now tainted. The inner conflict peaked. Hate for them clashed with self-blame.
Y de ignorat instincts.
Silence doubts for family.
Now.
Exposed. The rawness consumed me. But beneath, a gentle lesson stirred. Betrayal teaches discernment, not isolation. Humanity in forgiveness, even if distant. Sheriff Diaz updated. Searches at home yielded thallium traces in Martha's herb stash. Forged docs in Nathan's desk. Charges piled. Attempted murder. Fraud. Conspiracy. Arizona law promised 10 to 25 years each. Tom. Plea deals maybe, but evidence is ironclad. Satisfaction bloomed, but so did sorrow. The family I'd craved. Destroyed. Sarah managed the ranches, reporting sales and leases.
Sedona is fetching top dollar.
I nodded, but emotions surged. Gratitude for her loyalty. Regret for my blindness. You saw what I couldn't. She hugged me. We're in this together. Weeks blurred into therapy sessions, physical for my body, mental for my soul. The counselor probed, what hurts most? The pretense. Nathan's love, a calculated act. Inner monologues raged. You fool. Emily. You gave your heart to snakes. But slowly, compassion crept in for myself, for healing. The drama heightened. Court dates loomed. Media buzzed about the desert poison plot. Reporters called. I declined, focusing inward. One night, feverish, I dreamed of confronting them, not with anger, but questions.
Why?
The answer echoed, greed over grace. Nathan sent a letter from jail. I'm sorry. It started small debts, then spiraled. Mom pushed. But I allowed.
Sorry.
The word ignited fury. Then pity. He'd chosen this path. Martha's came too. You were kind. We weren't.
No remorse.
Just fact. Emotions crashed harder, betrayals sting sharper in hindsight. But a humanizing shift. They were flawed. Broken people. Not monsters. The lesson solidified. Guard your heart. But don't harden it. Extend mercy where possible. But protect fiercely. Discharge day came. Weak but alive. Sarah drove me to the Flagstaff cabin, fresh start, away from the poison home. Sold it quick. Proceeds to local charities, native land trusts, abuse shelters. Symbolic cleanse. Settling in. The vast pines outside mirrored my inner expanse, room for growth amid scars. Emotions weighed heaviest yet, relief mingled with profound loss. The family dream dead, but new bonds forming. Sarah visited daily. Partners in business and healing. We've got this. Yes. But the drama lingered. Trust rebuilt slowly. Brick by emotional brick. Months passed. Strength returned. Hiked short trails. Feeling Earth's pulse underfoot. Inner peace flickered. Betrayal forged resilience. Court approached. I testified. Voice steady. Recounting whispers. Recordings. Talks results. Nathan broke down. I regret everything. Martha stared blankly. Guilty verdicts. 15 years each. Justice served. But no joy. Only closure. In my mind, the storm peaked. Waves of vindication. Then empathy. They'd pay. Perhaps reflect.
Me?
I'd live fully. Wiser. The trial's echo faded. But the emotional avalanche buried me deeper. Sentencing day. Nathan got 15 years. Martha 18 for masterminding. Their faces, defeated, hollow, stirred a maelstrom inside. Triumph?
Yes.
But pity too, for lives wasted on greed. Inner voices screamed. They deserved it. Yet a softer one whispered, everyone falters. Learn from this. The drama climaxed, betrayal's pain rawest now, forcing confrontation with my vulnerabilities. I'd sought love in the wrong places. But humanity lay in rising, forgiving myself first. Post-trial, I poured into healing. Therapy unpacked the layers, revealing how isolation in the West amplified my need for connection. Emotions surged like never before, grief for lost years, rage at deception, but blooming hope. Sarah became family. We expanded the business ethically, donating profits to community programs. Your legacy, she said.
Mine.
Yes, rebuilt from ashes. A letter from Nathan. Prison's teaching me. I'm sorry. Truly. I burned it. But the act freed something. No reply needed, his remorse's burden. Hiking the Grand Canyon rim one dawn. The vastness mirrored my soul's depth. The betrayal had carved canyons in me, but time filled them with strength. Inner conflict resolved slowly. Hate dissolved into understanding. They'd chosen darkness. I'd choose light. The lesson? Gentle yet profound. Trust wisely. Love cautiously. But never stop. Humanity thrives in second chances for others, but especially ourselves. Years on, thriving in Flagstaff. Ranches flourishing under ethical hands. Sarah and I partners. Friends. Occasional pangs hit. Memories of Nathan's smile. Now seen as facade, but they pass. Emotions. Once overwhelming. Now guide. Deeper empathy. Sharper intuition. The poison plot? A chapter closed. teaching that from deepest betrayal blooms greatest growth. I raise a mug to sunsets, to survival, to the human spirit's unyielding fire.